full disclosure, the lawyers have provided some opinions on this, that this is sort of very basic and there will be a lot of nuances to this. But a suggestion for the Joint Powers Authority, because I think there's some confusion, or there was, at least amongst the PSTA members, about how that might work in an efficient way and not just add another layer or another committee. What could possibly happen if it was set up right by the legislature was PSTA and HART would still exist as legal entities, but basically PSTA and HART would only exist on paper. The Joint Powers Authority would be where all the action was, where the operations was, where all of the staff would be housed, where all of the planning decisions would be made, and where the transit services would be operated. The staff and assets of PSTA and HART would still be owned by PSTA and HART, but be dedicated to the JPA. The JPA board would meet regularly, but the PSTA and HART boards would not meet and would not really have any responsibilities moving forward. This transition could happen over time, or it could happen, like in the case of Hampton, kind of immediately. But we would try to avoid adding layers and layers of government and structure by basically not having the PSTA board and HART board have independent responsibilities and meet. Again, the reason for keeping PSTA and HART is to avoid having to have a referendum. PSTA and HART have the taxing authorities, the property tax authorities now, and to go to a full merger and eliminate PSTA and HART would almost undoubtedly require a referendum. So the consultants, working with the lawyers, tried to find a way around that. And the JPA, or some sort of interlocal agreement, seems to be the answer. Again, it's not creating three transit agencies. The PSTA and HART would essentially go away other than their legal responsibilities. Or that's the idea behind the JPA. So again, the three options that were analyzed by the consultants that were in the legislation were status quo, some kind of formal partnering or joint powers authority, like I just described, or merger. I think it would be my recommendation, it's my recommendation to the PSTA board that status quo is probably where we are today. Merger is certainly not recommended if it requires a referendum. And plus, I don't think we're ready for a full merger, but an incremental approach to a formal partnering of some sort, like a joint powers, would be the recommendation.